guys? Hope you guys are having a good day or night. Back looking at this week's car auctions today. Typical disclaimer before I get started that none of this is financial, legal, or tax advice. I'm not a licensed professional, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Consult a professional before you make any financial decisions. Now, this first one is very cool. So this F1 car, I don't really follow F1, but I think that they look sick. This is a very neat looking car, obviously designed fully for the track. Aerodynamics, power, speed. Not much thought given to comfort or safety to some degree. But pretty crazy looking vehicle. I don't even know where you would necessarily drive one of these. I see it's going for 49 grand right now with 14 hours left. Kinda would have expected it to go for more, but I don't know if maybe because it's not really something you can drive out on the road. Maybe that's why it's going for less money. Nonetheless, very cool looking vehicle. Looks like you have a bunch of settings that you can adjust for torque and RPM, and I don't even know what all those things do. But it's in California, and let's see what he says. Doug says, wow, we've listed several race cars since launching Cars and Bids, but this is our first Formula One car. Oh wow, really? It's one of the 3 CT03 units that Caterham F1 built for the 2013 season, and it raced all over the world. Its drivetrain has been removed, so the next owner will need to invest time and money before being able to try it out on a track. Okay, so that's probably why it's going for significantly less. It would make for a very interesting conversation piece in your living room. That's a good point. I have seen people that have like either cars in their house or they have like glass walls to their garage so that you can see like a Porsche or something that's like parked outside, which is pretty cool. But reportedly entered in 8 races. Pretty cool. This looks crazy. An old Toyota Hearse, but it has like ornamentation on it. It looks to be like, is that Chinese dragons? I'm not sure, but it looks pretty nuts. Yeah, there's some sort of lettering there. 38,000 miles. We've listed a handful of hearses on Cars and Bids, but none are more ornate and quirky than those Miyagata style conversions. I didn't know this was like a common thing. Interesting. Not really sure what someone would buy this to use it for. It's going for $5,500, which I guess is pretty low. Not sure how to pronounce this. Don't know Aston Martin too well. Got an Aston Martin Rapide, I think. That'd be my guess. 470 horsepower V12, 13 years old. Rear seat entertainment system. It's a nice looking car. I don't really love red interiors, to be honest. I think it really depends on the car. Interesting that it's got a console in the middle, in the back seat. I feel like that's not something you see very often. Not really sure what the reason for that would be. Only going for about 30 grand with 14 hours left. It's in Staten Island, New York. Not my favorite. Not a huge fan of Aston Martins. I think they're cool, but for the money, I just don't think they do it for me. Got an old 911 Targa here. If you guys recall, Targa just means that the back part stays up, and the only retractable part is this middle roof section, like you can see here. So this glass kind of half shell in the back stays up. It's kind of a blend between a coupe and a convertible. I think they look cool. Pretty neat looking car. 38 grand, 14 hours left. We've also got a 1998 Honda Integra Type R. These are pretty neat. For those of you that don't know, they were sold in both the US and Japanese markets, but in US, I believe they sold them all under the Acura name. So I believe this would be an import. It's a rare sedan version. Let me see. Let's take a look inside. Yep, it does have a inverted steering, so it must be from a foreign market. But I think it's interesting that they just sell it under a different brand name, but it's the exact same car. I think it was one of the first cars to have VTEC. If you guys aren't familiar with VTEC, it's kind of a way to help cars that aren't that powerful or fast go a little bit faster, ekes out a little bit of power. It stands for, it's kind of a dumb acronym. It stands for Variable Valve Timing and Lift Electronic Control. But like only certain letters in that acronym actually go into VTEC, obviously, because it's not that long of an acronym. It essentially increases kind of the distance that the valves open when in certain situations, and a more open valve leads to more air intake, which leads to more power, essentially. So like there's like a meme / saying in the car community about VTEC kicking in. That's what it's referring to. But they're cool looking cars. Got some Recaro bucket seats in here. Got the handbrake. It's of course a manual. I don't know too much about the rarity of the sedan, but I guess a lot of them are 2 doors. I think it's a nice looking car, but it's not insane. Got an old Mercedes. Got a Mini Cooper, John Cooper Works. John Cooper Works is just a like in-house tuning / racing division of Mini. I'm not really a fan of Mini Coopers, but a lot of people are. Let's see. Got a G-Class, or a G-Wagon, sorry. AMG. It's a nice looking car. I think the matte black looks really well on the G-Wagons, or matte gray, whatever this is. Probably wouldn't be my like first choice if I was looking for like a larger luxury vehicle, but I do think they look cool. They stand out. Definitely a status car. I do like the interior. Carbon fiber, got some kind of tan seats contrasted with the black. Got low carbon fiber accents. It's going for 27 grand with 15 hours left. That's actually not as much as I expected, but it is an 05. Got an old Subaru Legacy RS. RS was just the highest trim, pretty sure. Don't think these cars look super great, but some people like them a lot. I think that these guards that some cars, some people put on some cars, just look really ugly. Can't remember exactly what they do, or if it's like aero, but I think they ruin the look of a car. Got an Alpha Giulia. Got a 2014 M6. Not really a fan of the M6. Talked about it before. I think they look really stretched and unproportional. But you see them every now and then. I think the back looks nice. It's kind of just the side and the front view that I don't really enjoy. But they are, still pretty quick, pretty nice cars. This one's going for only 11 grand with 15 hours left. It's 10 years old. I guess that makes sense. Would have expected a little more out of it, but there's still plenty of time. Got a CLS 450. Got an old M5. I think we've seen 1 or 2 of these before. I do like these. Don't think I'd pick this generation out of all the generations you can get, but I think it's a very nice looking car. Obviously, like 25 years old, sorry. But I think they still look kind of classy. Honestly, the only thing that looks kind of like crap is this middle infotainment center, and you could definitely change that out, but it is a manual. It's from Illinois. It's at $12,500. 16 hours left. Got a Fiat 124. I swear I saw these never before, and then ever since I've started making these videos, I feel like I see them way more often. But not a huge fan of them, but I think they look somewhat okay. Got an M4 here. M4, what is this? 2015. Very clean looking car. Again, I think this disproportionality on the length bothers me on the M4 a little bit. Kind of similar to the M6, but M4 is kind of like the cream of the crop. This and the M3, obviously, are probably like two of the more popular M series cars. But gorgeous looking car. This one's actually an automatic. Not crazy about those seats. 32,000 miles. ECU tune. Carbon fiber spoiler. Crank up. Let's see. Got a Civic Type R. Not a huge fan of those. Got a Mazda Speed 6. I don't think we've seen one of these yet. These are just essentially the high performance version of the Mazda 6. For a long time I had an old 2011 Mazda 3 that was my car that I drove most of my younger years, and like when I learned to drive and such. It was definitely dated, but it was a reliable car and good value, so gotta respect it. I always thought these cars looked nice too, but obviously, a little more expensive. But they're decently powerful. I think they're in the high 200s for horsepower, so this one's at $5,700, 17 hours left, 73,000 miles. Fantastic performance and fun driving character. Turbocharged 4-cylinder, 6-speed manual, all-wheel drive. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool car, for sure. I think that's kind of what started my love for Mazda. That and the RX-8, because those were, you saw those a little bit more when I was a kid. And then obviously you get into some of the older cars that you may not see as much, like the old Miatas, the RX-7, stuff like that. But I like them. I got a C8 right here. Nothing crazy, it looks like. Just some performance mods. Oh my goodness, gorgeous. I love the NSX. These go for so much money, but I would love to have one day. I think white is probably one of my favorite colors to see them in, but I think the yellow looks great as well. Got the pop-up headlights. This is another one of those cars that can be branded as either an Acura or a Honda, depending on the market that you bought it in. But just a phenomenal car. Manual, of course. Very clean interior, especially for this car being like 25 years old. 28,000 miles. Pennsylvania. Registration. It's got the Targa top. Yep, I didn't point that out. Looks awesome. It's already at $78,000 with over a day left, so this puppy's gonna go for a lot of money. Wow, we got an old Taurus here. I feel like you don't really see these. Obviously, there's nothing special to this, but I do. This kind of, I think that it's interesting that this kind of became the de facto police car for a really long time. The newer one, obviously, but now that Ford has discontinued the Taurus and Dodge has discontinued the Charger. I'm really curious what the new, like, default police sedan is going to become. Yeah, this thing's crazy. Only 90,000 miles, though. Would have expected more from something that's almost 30 years old. Oh, yeah, over 30 years old. Got another SRT8. Talked about these a while back. This was kind of the precursor to the Trackhawk. Pretty interesting car. Obviously, much uglier than the Trackhawk. I think that's kind of an undeniable fact, but still a neat car nonetheless, and you gotta respect it for what it is, only at $8,600. Got an 08 M5. Great looking car. Looks like they got a carbon fiber hood on it. Interesting. Looks nice, honestly. I don't really like the red in the grills there and the red down here. Think that it could have done without that, but nice enough car nonetheless. Again, not my favorite M5 Gen, but very nice looking car. Interior still looks decently well for its age. Looks like it's got some blind spot parking assist, which is neat to see on such an old model. But 500 horsepower V10. Last time that they had the V10 in the M series was this M5 and M3 through like 2012, I think, 2012, 2013, up through the E92. So got another M6 here. GLS 450, got a Tahoe, got a Range Rover Super Sport, got an Audi S5. I have a similar issue with these that I do with the M4 and the M6 is that I think this back kind of portion looks weird on these longer two-door coupes. Obviously it's because there's a back seat there, but it just, the wheel being so far behind the end of the doors looks weird to me. But not a huge fan of Audis to begin with, so. Got a Toyota Tundra Model S, an M3 Coupe from 02, it's an S54. Obviously, again, this two-door M's, I have some issues with proportionality, but it's a nice looking car. It's interesting that it looks like the license plate here is different than in the next picture. It's a little suspect, but it's like two sets of photos. California plates, and then it goes to Minnesota or Michigan. Can't tell what that says, but that's a little weird. Guy may be using old photos to sell it, I guess. But got an Audi Q8, a Golf, Toyota Tundra. That's the second one we've seen. Toyota Century, R1T, Suzuki. These things are cool. Got an M2 Competition. Classic looking car. I love the M2. I think for me, the proportionality of this back portion looks better on the M2 than the M4. Just seems to fit the car a little bit better. Granted, you get a smaller back seat and a smaller car overall, but I think it still works for what you need it to work for. Plus, it's a little more nimble of a car to drive. Got a 2014 Aston Martin Vanquish Volante. Don't know a ton about these either. Honestly, feel like a lot of the Aston Martins just look super similar. I know you could definitely say the same about like BMW, Audi, etc., but Oh, it's got like butterfly doors. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's going for 57 grand though with 2 days left, so should get a decent amount of money going for it. Got an R33 here. Classic Skyline. Neat looking car. What's it going for? 15K with 2 days left. Not too bad. Only 37,000 miles on it. It is an imported model. It's in Bellevue, Washington. This one has the turbocharged 6-cylinder, I guess. Special 6-cylinder. Pre-purchase inspection, U.S. title. Doug always says this. It's kind of annoying to see that. Like, we know it's a U.S. title. But he's trying to incentivize people to rationalize their bid. Got an Abarth. A Volvo. Not too familiar with the R design line, but not a big Volvo fan in general. Got an old X5. These things always look a little blocky to me. I know some people that like this kind of body shape more than the new ones. I just don't see it. I think it looks kind of foolish. Don't like the wheels on this one either, but I feel like most old cars get critiqued for their body, aside from some of the more slender Japanese models. Audi S8 Plus. Got an R1S, Acura CL. Got a nice 718 Cayman here. Gotta respect the Cayman. I've said it before, but I do really like the Cayman body a little bit more than the traditional 911. Honestly, like the look of the GT4 a little bit more than the GT3, but definitely a smaller profile. But nice looking car. No back seats, obviously. Not sure if I love the yellow. I think if you go yellow, you gotta have a little bit more flair. Have a spoiler, have a bigger lip, or some other arrow or something. But nice car nonetheless at $30,000 with 2 days left. Lexus LS, got a BRZ, Land Rover S4, got an R8 V10 Plus. It's a gorgeous looking car. I think the white R8 with the black trim is a phenomenal pairing. The little spoiler on the back looks very nice as well. Just such a phenomenal looking car. Wow. I don't know why this one just looks better than they normally do, honestly. Very well kept. It's an automatic. 50,000 miles on it. About 85 grand going for it now with 2 days left. It's in California. Nice. Gorgeous car. Got a O2 M3. I think we already saw one of these today, actually. Got a 4Runner. Got a 2023 Mercedes AMG GT63. Whatever Green Hell Magno Edition is. Not familiar with that. Not a fan of the color. Honestly, not a fan of these in general. I think they're cool looking cars for sure, but the body shape is not my favorite. Looks to be damn near brand new. Just nothing crazy about it to me. only has about 30 miles. It's going for 100 grand with 2 days left. I know they're extremely powerful, very fast cars, 630 horsepower, twin turbo V8. But oh wow, this one's got a $37,000 option. That's what that paint color's from. Adds some exterior carbon fiber, adds aerodynamic package, 21-inch AMG forged wheels, carbon fiber roof, and much more. I don't know. It's a little much for me. Got a WRX Impreza. Got a Golf F150 Raptor. These are pretty cool. 450 horsepower V6. They're kind of fast. Nothing insane, but for a truck. Got an S550. I feel like we saw a Ferrari get photographed at this same location, but could just be me. These rolling hills look a little familiar, but yeah, we definitely did, because I remember there was like a guy sitting off at this bench. That's funny. It's in California as well. I think the other one is in California. 20,000 miles. All out of car for the money. V8, yeah. They're alright. I don't know too much about Infiniti G37 IPL. Got an old M5 touring wagon. Yeah, these are definitely pretty rare. I don't think I've seen these before. Like, obviously I've seen an M5 wagon before, but don't know if I've seen this generation. Maybe I have. Not a fan of wagons though, but for those that are, oh my gosh, those are some blue seats. 227,000 miles, no way. Oh, that must have been kilometers. 141,000 miles. Got a Mitsubishi Eclipse. These are funny because I remember my gym teacher back in the day had one of these, and I thought it was like a super nice sports car. And like, they're cool, don't get me wrong, but they're not exactly a luxury, expensive, or even very particularly fast vehicle. It's kind of a crappy, low entry level convertible. Still fun. I'm sure it's super fun. But not what I once thought it was. Definitely plays in a different kind of ballpark than most of the cars on this website. But I think it is a cool looking car. All that aside, it is manual. Not really a fan of that blue on the interior, but beggars can't be choosers. Got a Fiesta, Land Rover Discovery. Got an old Audi TT Quattro Roadster. Quattro just means all-wheel drive with the Audis. Quattro, I think, means four in Italian. So, I mean, pretty direct translation there to four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. But don't particularly love how these older ones look. What's it going for? Only $7,700. The Audi TTs and the TTS and TTRS, they go for a lot of money. I guess this one does have 147,000 miles on it, which is pretty nuts. It's in Asheville, North Carolina. Very nice area. Oh, this is a first generation. I didn't know that. Cool nonetheless. Got another Impreza WRX. Got another M6 Coupe. Wow. Got a 7 Series, a Mach-E. Not a huge fan of the Mach-E. Just think it looks like kind of a weird, Porsche Cayenne. But to each their own. He's got a way cooler car in the background there, so. 7 Series, a Mach-E. Not a huge fan of the Mach-E. Just think it looks like kind of a weird, Porsche Cayenne. But to each their own. He's got a way cooler car in the background there, so. can see why he's selling this. Speaking of Porsches, got a Carrera Coupe right here. Not a huge fan of the color, to be honest. I'm very particular about my yellow cars, but I do think that some of the Porsches can look really good with them. I think, honestly, I like them the most when they're paired with other, like, accents. Like, some of the YSAC packages come with, like, hood stripes and other, what do you call it? Other details on the car that kind of accent it. This is at 52 grand with 3 days left. 14,000 miles. In Texas. Got an old BMW Z1. These are pretty cool. These are the only BMW, as far as I know, that has these like vertical side doors. And I actually think it's a pretty cool looking car overall. But the doors kind of drop down. You can see like that. Doug actually reviewed one of these, but I think they only made like 10,000 or something, like less than 10,000 of these. So I think they're pretty rare. But I think it's a pretty neat looking car. Obviously old. It's from 1989. Going for $30,000 with 4 days left. Pretty penny. Mostly unmodified. Same model as the 3 Series of the time. Imported from Canada in 2014, titled in New Jersey. I will say it would annoy me to have a metric cluster, just like speed limits and stuff like that. I think I would forget that I have a metric vehicle. Got another Cayman here. It's an interesting color. It's called chalk. Very nice looking car, though. I think this looks a little cleaner than the color we saw earlier. Very nice. Let's see what the interior looks like. Very well kept. 8,400 miles. Honestly, looks very good for 8,400 miles. Evans at 41K with 4 days left. New Orleans. And a nice interior. I agree. This is interesting. The 03 BMW 330 ZHP. I say it's interesting because of the ZHP. That was like a package that they did very briefly. I think only like 2 or 3 years maybe. It was just like performance stuff, like better suspension, a little more horsepower. But it wasn't around very long. Not any badging on the car either to indicate that it is, you know, that trim. Or that package, I should say. Since the M3 was never offered as a sedan, this is the sportiest 4-door E46 that was available. It's a fair point. 6-speed manual. No reserves. Nothing crazy, but I just wanted to point out this HP thing because I thought that was cool, kind of cool. Notice there's a lot of Rivians that get sold on here. People must not like them if they don't want to keep them. S5, got a Scion FRS. I do like these, but I would still opt for the newer GR86. This one's only going for $4,000 with 4 days left, though. That's kind of insane. It's only 9 years old. 8, really, because we just started 2024. Got a Fiesta ST. Got a very nice Mazda MX5 Miata Grand Touring model. I think this blue looks really good actually in this light. I like that a lot. It is a soft top, but if you want the fully retractable top, then you have to go with the soft top rather than the RF, the retractable fastback. I do like it a lot. I think the tan interior goes really well with the blue as well. Going for 19 grand with 4 days left. It's an ND model. Yeah, I mean, I like it. Range Rover Supercharged S63. Got an old Corvette. TRX. Land Cruiser. Got an MR2. These are interesting. A lot of people like to tout these as a good kind of beginner car, but they've kind of gotten expensive, I'm pretty sure. They, it kind of fits into that, Miata S2000 kind of class. Kind of small, nimble, decently fast, but not overly powerful. $4,500 with 4 days left. This one does have 112,000 miles on it, so it probably won't go for anything insane. But fun mid-engine roadster with balanced chassis, eager handling, and Toyota's excellent reliability. Not probably the least favorite of mine, kind of out of that group of cars, looks-wise, but it is neat nonetheless. And then we got a Panamera Turbo E hybrid. Don't know a ton about their hybrids, honestly, but I assume it's a plug-in still. Is that how the Porsche hybrids work? Yeah, plug-in hybrid V8. 680 horsepower, pretty nuts. Don't really like the green calipers, but other than that, pretty neat looking car. Very nice interior. Got the little cluster up there. But appreciate you guys watching. As usual, drop a comment, let me know what your favorite was, and if you have any ideas for videos, let me know. Always looking for suggestions. So I'll see you next time. Peace.